Okay, so that's a tricky question, and it's not a real long answer. When we go out, when the representative comes out, and let's say, I'm just using as an example, you decide we want to make, of these 3 windows, 2 of them open and 1 of them non-open, just making this up. And then the sales rep's been out. My material man hasn't been back out. And between that time frame of him getting out and the homeowner, and the representative being at the home, homeowners decide, you know what, tack with that. I don't want any of those windows to open up. Let's make them all stationary. I can change something. It's not a problem. When my installation manager gets out there, homeowner says, you know what, we talked about this last night, whatever. We're not going to make those 2 side windows open. We need them to be non-opening. Well, what'll happen is my representative will have to come back out to amend the paperwork so that the homeowner, and whatever pricing that has to be done, higher or lower, whatever way you go. But it all has to be documented because I want to be covered and the homeowner wants to be covered, so that when we come out, they don't say, those were supposed to open. Well, no, remember we came back out here and you changed those to non-opening. And surprisingly, husband and wives don't always communicate, said the husband. And so like the husband may decide, hey, I'm not going to have these open. I don't care about that and all that, and doesn't tell the wife. And the wife's like, those are supposed to open. It's like, no, we changed it. And so now her problem is no longer with us, it's with her husband, and they can handle that. We're out of that part of it. But we just want to be covered so that we're all on the same, playing field here. And that, by the way, happens both ways. Wives change things and don't tell husbands too. I'm not just throwing the husband under the bus. But after my installation manager's out there, he gets the accurate measurements. He has the corrected documents, whatever it is, if it's the original documents or amended documents. But after he gets them, he literally goes back to the office, if not that day, the very next day, and orders those windows. Once those windows are put in production, there is no changing of the color or changing of the style or anything like that. It's done. The lead times pre-COVID, I used to get windows in 8 to 10 days. Post-COVID, because of supply chain issues and stuff like that, I get them in 5 or 6 weeks. But it's not like they go 4.5 weeks and then make the windows. They make 3 of the 8 windows today, they make 3 of them tomorrow, and then next week, or that type of thing. So I can't call the factory and change it because they might have made those 3 windows that you're changing. So it's just, once the window order is placed with the factory, there's no changing, it's done. So, and our representatives, when they're in the home, do the best to make sure everything's covered, that we're all on the same page here, because we don't want to have any doubts about it. And like the most common thing, guilty of this myself, is we're all concerned about the dollars and pennies involved in this. So we try to err to the side of the least expensive. But my sales guys, I know this sounds self-serving for the company, we don't try to sell the highest price. We don't try to sell the lowest price. We try to sell the best solution so that it's done right, so you're satisfied with it. Sometimes that saves you money, sometimes that costs you money. But we're always working for the best solution so that when we walk away from it, we're happy. And I tell this story all the time when I used to be a salesman and then when I trained my sales guy. I have saved myself dollars, like, hey, I can save $100 and not have to do that. And then a month, a year, 2 years later, I'm regretful. I'm like, that was so stupid. I shouldn't have done that. It was $100. What's $100? Now I can't, using the windows as an example. Yes, you could do that, but you may be doing yourself a disservice. Let's do it this way. I know it costs a little more, but you'll never regret it. And that's our whole goal.